Hey there, my lovely phoenixes. It's Daniella Langford here of Redesign Your Life Forever, and welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays. I am just hanging out up here with one of my favorite pieces. By the way, quick note, if you're loving on this piece and you wish you could know how to make it, it is one of those lovely crayon drip art pieces. I actually have a free Create Fridays on making just this craft, and you can check it out on YouTube if you look up Redesign Your Life Forever on YouTube, and there are a treasure trove of all kinds of how-to videos, crafts, DIYs, all kinds of fun, crazy things on there that I did a lot last year. I'm exploring my creativity and sharing that with you all. So if you are interested in checking out how to make this particular piece, which is one that's really fun to make, not only for yourself, but you can do it with kids. You can all kinds of wonderful things. Anyway, that's on there. Check it out on YouTube, and if you want the link, you can always message me as well. So welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays. Again, we'll get right down to business. I've got my notes here, and we're going to get down to what you came here tonight to hear about. And I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 keys to lasting change. Now, I know that can definitely be something that everybody struggles with at one point or another, and I definitely count myself among those who have indeed in the past struggled with making changes that I wanted to in my life last. So, are you wondering why? Have you gotten to 2019 and you're wondering why in the fuck you're looking around at your life and you're going, what in the flip? Why hasn't anything changed, you know? I've gotten all this information, I've started doing all of this research, I feel like I've been working on my mindset, and all of these things. I've tried all of this different stuff. Why hasn't anything changed, Or maybe you're on the other side of the coin and you're looking around and you're seeing that nothing's changed, and that's really overwhelming because there are so many choices out there having to do with personal growth or spiritual growth. Where do you start? And I find that for a lot of people that can really be a stopper and a blocker to working on things that they want to make better in their life, is actually just the plethora of choices that we have out there for us to figure out what is going on for us. So if you feel like you've tried everything, if you feel like you've been overwhelmed with the amount of choices, or just even overwhelmed with trying everything because you're like, shit, nothing's worked, you are definitely not alone. I want you to know that you are not alone, that there are so many other brilliant, beautiful souls just out there, just like you, that are feeling tired and overwhelmed, and they've tried everything, and we're all just looking to figure out what is going to be that thing that is going to help us. So tonight I really want to share with you the 3 keys that I have found, not only in my experience, but working with others, to actual lasting change, lasting difference, lasting evolution, okay? Often enough I get the question, and we're going to lead off with this, I get the question, what am I missing? That is one of the biggest questions that I get whenever I'm talking with anyone, whether it's a consultation or a regular session, and I've been working, we're a month into a program, and they've been working really hard, and it's still, they're still not seeing what they want to see, and they're saying, Daniella, what am I missing? I have found that it comes down to one of these 3 things. Ultimately, one of these 3 categories, if not multiple. Number 1 is going to be the right knowledge, okay? Number 2, the thing that you're going to look for is the right support. And number 3, of course, is the right action plan. So I want to share with you a little bit about each one of these 3 things, just briefly this evening, and share with you some of these things so that maybe you can start applying them to your life in everyday situations and see how much benefit that you can get. Just pick one and see what kind of results that you can get from that. So the first one is going to be the right knowledge. Now I find that this is crucial and goes along with what most people, one of their biggest fears is not knowing where to start. Okay, there are so many options out there. There are so many choices. There are so many gurus. There are so many coaches, and some of them out there are brilliant, and they are definitely putting out the information that is going to help you and help me and, help heal humanity. But how do you know which one that is? How do you know which one is right for you? And I find that not only being able to discern which message is right for you, but also the right knowledge in the sense of, and this is equally if not more so important, the right knowledge of what you actually have going on for you right now, where you are right now, the knowledge and the understanding of where you are right now. And that means, what kind of mindsets are you running in your head? What kind of beliefs and paradigms do you have sitting around that are showing up in your mindset, that are hidden in your subconscious, that's really driving the action or inaction that you are taking in your life? And even, indeed, as I'm sure most of you know, there's going to be those beliefs and those paradigms and those traumas that are trapped even in our energetic field from a spiritual soul perspective. Because yes, indeed, as I'm sure most of you know, the lives that we've lived previously and the traumas that we've lived previously sometimes don't get ratified. They don't move out of the energy field. They stay in there and they stay stuck. And so a lot of times, I find that we are dealing with that. And that's, again, something that I love helping people relieve and push that out of their field. But really, ultimately, that number one is the first place that I look for when somebody's asking me, what am I missing? Is, do you know where you are? Do you know what beliefs that are hard-held, that are written in the programming that you've had from childhood, that are really holding you in place? Do you know what those are? Do you know what's hidden in your subconscious? Do you talk to your subconscious? These are all kinds of things that we talk about when I get this question. And one of the first things that I ask, people to do is, do you know what you're doing with your day? Do you know what you're thinking throughout your day? And ask them to do like a thinking journal throughout their day and then throughout the week, just to see what is actually going on loop in the background for you all the time. So that's number one. That's going to be the first thing that you want to look through. Number two is the right support. Now this is crucial. Oh my God, I can't tell you how crucial this is. And it is one of the things that is so severely overlooked when it comes to personal progress, personal growth, spiritual growth, even pursuing a dream, having to do with a hobby or a career, or even if it's not, just a dream that you have. Having the right support is insanely crucial. And I really can't stress this enough. How do I start to put this? The support and guidance that you get can make or break, regardless of knowing the tools, regardless of knowing, what you've got going on under the hood, here in the engine, in the computer, what have you got going on in there? If you don't have the right support from somewhere, those dreams and those things that you want to make manifest are never going to see the light of day. Never. I promise you. Because as much as we hate to admit it, and I hate to admit it, as much as we hate to admit it, 9 times out of 10 and 90%, if not more, out of 100, hey girlfriend, 90% of the people that are in our lives, our friends, our families, our coworkers, all of these people that we have 90% of our contact with, as much as they have what they think is our best interest at heart, the majority of the time they are, in their own way, trying to keep us safe. Hey, Miss Sherry, how you doing tonight? They are trying to keep us safe. And by trying to keep us safe, that is keeping us small, that is keeping us contained, and that is not really letting our light out to share with the world, because not being safe equates a lot of things, having to do with, being embarrassed in public, or failing, or this, or that, or the other. A lot of the things that the ego equates with death, which is a whole nother topic, really getting into that. But ultimately, you're not getting the right support, is what I want to say, from 90% of the people around you, your friends, your family, your coworkers. You're not going to get the kind of support that you need to pursue your dreams, to pursue your personal growth goals, your spiritual growth dreams, being supported by the people around you, because they are not going where you are going 90% of the time. And I hate to say it, and it is a hard truth. It is an absolutely hard truth. That doesn't mean we don't love them. That doesn't mean we don't appreciate them and can't additionally appreciate time with them. But 9 times out of 10, we cannot listen to the things that they tell us, because they aren't going where we're going. They don't know where we want to go, and they haven't been there, so they can't really advise us on how to get there. And ultimately, I feel like a lot of times, we go to these people that we love and we care for and we trust so much, and we have this little spark of a dream, and we want to share it with them because we're so excited. We want to do this in our life, we want to pursue this little spark of a beautiful little dream, and we want to share it with them, and they go, happy birthday. That's not going to be a good idea. And they just poo-poo all over our shit. And it's terrible. And that is a surefire way to never pursue anything that you want in life. So often I feel like star seeds and the indigos, and pretty much if you're in this group, I count you among the number of us awakening souls. So much of the time that we have had these moments of where we want to shine and we want to share, and just the people that we share that with initially drown our dreams, and we have that happen to us so much that just becomes a way of life, and we ultimately just stop pursuing our dream because we feel like that's the only answer we're ever going to get. So having the right support means everything. And that means sometimes going and getting a coach. I did it. I'm doing it right now. If you have personal fitness goals and you've tried losing weight before, you've tried building muscle before, you've tried working on your nutrition before, and it's just gone up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and you know what? You say, God dang it, I'm going to do it this time. What do? You go and get a personal trainer. You go and get a nutritionist. You work with somebody who that is their specialty, that can help you and give you the support that you need to pursue, not only to pursue, but achieve those goals that you are looking to achieve. The same thing like if you are pursuing an education, or for your kids, and they're struggling in a class, or you're struggling in a class. What do? You go and get a tutor. This is all the same thing. It is all a part of a large, very almost unspoken, service-based world that really ultimately, if we're in it for the right reasons, which hopefully most of us are, fingers crossed, right, is to help other people with the knowledge and the experience that we have gained in our lives, to help uplift the people around us so that everybody can be playing on the same deck of cards, more or less, so that everybody can be benefiting, okay? So ultimately, you want to have that support. If you're not finding it in the people around you, be proactive and look for the support that you can get, because it does exist. And if it's not me, that's okay. There are a million of us, I shouldn't say a million of us, but there are so many people out there that want to serve, that want to help, and they have carved out a place that they have experience and they have training and they have something to share. So they may be for you. But ultimately, it is something that you need to do and assess for yourself, is to see whether or not, that's right, Miss Sherry, lean on each other so we all can grow. Find somebody that resonates with you so that you can get to where you want to be, so that we all can grow, okay? So that's number 2. Number 3, just as important, and this is where your long-term, really, in addition to your support, your long-term lasting change that you're going to see is that this is where it's going to be in number 3. The action plan. Having the right action plan. And more often than not, you're going to be carving that out with number 2. The person with which you've gone and you've gotten your support from. And again, if you've got a really, really close friend that's really supportive, and you say, hey, I'd love to sit down with you and carve out an action plan for myself, go, do it. Fantastic. Love it. Okay? More often than not, you'll probably encourage them and inspire them to carve out an action plan for themselves if they haven't already. So, sharing the love, sharing the wealth. But ultimately, it is about carving out that action plan. Who you choose to do it with is ultimately, again, up to you. But usually doing it with somebody gives you that third-person perspective that says, hey, maybe it would be better if you spent more of your time doing A than B, because maybe B, although B may be worthwhile, A may be what you not want to focus on right now, so that B can be more fruitful in the future. Something like that. Anything. Ultimately, knowing and being able to have that third-person view, this is something I love working with people with. This is a homework that I do with my clients pretty much right away now, is that, working within your lifestyle, working within your schedule, and then being able to look at that and make choices. Okay, so one of the first homeworks that I love to do with people, I love to do this, is I send them on a week and I say, all right, so get a little, go to the dollar store, get a little journal, and write down how much time you do spend doing what. Excuse me, coming in. Incoming! Message from the Big Giant Head, for those of you who know that reference. So what I'll have you do is go out and get a notebook and record how much time you spend doing what. So if you go to work from X amount of time to X amount of time, from 9 to 5, what are you doing in the morning? Like, when do you get up? How much time do you spend getting ready? How much do you spend time having breakfast? And then so on and so forth. When you get home, what do you do? How much time do you spend with dinner? And how much time do you spend on TV and on your phone and Facebook and games and things and stuff? And seeing where we can't switch out some of those things for some of those practices that you really have been wanting to bring into your life but you just can't find time for. Scheduling in the time is really one of the most effective ways to ensure that you will do it. That I have found working with a lot of people. So this is one thing that I love getting to work with people and doing and getting them engaged in their own life. This is number 1. So the action plan, the right action plan, working that out with somebody that you know and that you can trust and is supportive, and working within your schedule, and then taking it that one step further and actually making the time for you and your growth. Yes, Mary! Incoming message from the Big Giant Head. So, sometimes that's what I call the guides now. For those of you who know that Third Rock from the Sun reference, incoming message from the Big Giant Head. But anyway, so make the time for you and your goal, because ultimately a lot of times, again, what it comes down to is making the time for yourself. You can learn the tools, you can get the support, we can write out the action plan, all we want. But if you don't take the time for yourself, if you don't take that 15 minutes a day, if you don't take that 20 minutes a day for yourself, because when you think about it, 20 minutes a day for yourself in the hours that we spend doing things is nothing. And when you think about the kind of results that you can get from just that 15 minutes a day, say, are astronomical. Health, mental, emotional, spiritual, it just crosses all the boards. But if you don't take it to that 4th step and actually make time for yourself, none of this is ever going to see the light of day. None of it. And you're going to stay exactly where you are right now, listening to me talking about Big Giant Head. So don't do that. Take the action, whatever that action is. And the third thing that goes along with this action plan, because it's something that I really ensure that I highlight or have my clients highlight when we make our action plan, and pretty much on the page, every page, is know your motivation. Know that motivation. Know your desire. Know your reason why you want what you want when it comes to your spiritual growth or your physical health goals or your business goals or whatever it is. Know the real reason, broken down, why you want to do what you're trying to do. And hold on to that motivation, because there are going to be times where you're going to be fighting with yourself about whether you want to watch that other episode on Netflix, or whether you sit there and you take your 10-15 minutes and read a chapter in your book. Those are going to be the decisions that make or break your success or your failure in the future, ultimately. So again, you can get all of the knowledge you want about where you are and what your mindset is, and you can understand where your belief systems come from and your mother and the whole thing, and we can walk you through that. You can get the support you need. You can get as much hand holding as you can possibly stand. You know, you can get the action plan written out for you by somebody. But if you don't do it, then you're going to stay stuck. And that is what I wanted to share with you tonight, my lovelies. Taking those small actions. You have the choice between doing what you used to do and a small new action that will take you into the future. So that is my spiel for you tonight, my lovelies. Briefly, again, if anything in here is ringing your bell, please let me know. Message me. Shout out to me. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any topics that you would like me to cover, questions, please shout out to me. This is what I am here for. I want to answer your questions. So if you have a burning question, please let me know, because that is what it is for. And ultimately, I also want to share with you, thank you, Miss Sherry. Ultimately, I want to share with you too, coming up, I'm so excited about this for you guys, along these lines, is that I, from popular demand, have gone in and have redone my Thinkific courses, and I'm going to be relaunching a whole new series of courses on Thinkific, also an ebook and an audio course, along with also new challenges that I'm going to be bringing to you here in the group, 5- and 7-day interactive challenges that actually have prizes that I'm going to be sending to you, and also along with building up to a very awesome, like unprecedented one-on-one live group program for select awesome action takers in the group, because I know that there are kind of a few of you out there that are really chomping at the bit, that are really dying to take some action this year, and I wanted to build something that could fill that service for you. So that is coming up for us here in the group. I can't wait to roll these out for you. The first challenge is going to be for Valentine's Day. That's going to be a 5-day self-care challenge, interactive challenge, and I can't wait to bring that to you guys. So I'm going to actually go work on some more of that tonight, and I will see you all soon in the group. Again, if you have any questions or comments or shout-outs or anything like that, you can always feel free to message me, PM me on the Messenger and Facebook, or you can always email me at redesignyourlifeforever@gmail.com. So, love you all, my darlings. This is Daniella from Redesign Your Life Forever, and I will see you later. Mwah!